Hey there, ready to unlock some serious potential.
I like that.
We're diving into a classic just for you.
Okay.
Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
Right.
We're talking real-life stories,
Yeah.
those surprising secrets to success,
Uh-huh.
and even a bit of that what-if thinking for good measure.
I like it.
So,
You know what's fascinating about this book?
what's that?
Hill spent over 2 decades
Wow.
studying incredibly successful people.
Who?
Think Henry Ford,
Okay.
Thomas Edison,
Right.
even Mahatma Gandhi.
Wow.
All because Andrew Carnegie himself tasked him with uncovering the common threads of success.
It's like he was given a crash course in success from some of history's biggest hitters.
Exactly.
You've shared this goldmine of insights with us.
Yeah.
And it's clear Hill believed there's a formula,
Yep.
a sort of secret code to achieving incredible things.
Right.
Not just in terms of wealth,
Right.
but in any area of life.
Exactly. And what's interesting is how Cole teases this secret throughout the book,
Oh, really?
suggesting it reveals itself to those truly ready to grasp it.
Okay.
He wove together principles, habits, and even spiritual insights to crack the code, drawing from his years of studying these titans of industry.
It's like you went to the best source, right, to the most successful people in the world
Exactly.
and said, what are you doing that we're not?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah. And you know, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's not about stumbling upon some magic formula.
Okay.
It's about aligning your mindset and actions to attract success.
Okay, so it's not like if I just follow these 10 steps,
Right.
I'm guaranteed to be
Right.
the Henry Ford.
It's about the way you're thinking,
Okay.
the way you're approaching,
Gotcha.
the way you're showing up
Okay.
every single day,
Gotcha.
and being open.
He tested these principles with thousands of people before even publishing Think and Grow Rich.
Right.
Hill was really onto something with this idea of a secret hiding in plain sight,
Yes.
ready to click with the right reader at the right time.
He believed the secret could jump out from any page and hit you like an aha moment.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing those pivotal shifts in your thinking, those moments when a concept truly resonates and changes your perspective.
So almost like maybe not approaching it like a textbook where you
Yeah.
have to read every word in order.
Right.
Maybe you can open up to a random page,
And something will jump out.
and that'll be the key for you.
Yeah. And you're like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I've been missing.
It's like that saying,
Yeah.
when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Exactly.
Maybe the same applies to life-changing advice.
Right.
But enough about the mystery surrounding the secret. Let's dive into the actual advice.
Okay. Let's do it.
One story that always sticks out is about Edwin Barnes,
Okay.
who managed to land his dream job working with Thomas Edison.
Wow.
This wasn't some stroke of luck either.
Okay.
This guy hopped a freight train just for a chance encounter.
Wow.
Talk about determination.
That's the thing about Barnes. He understood the power of definite desire.
Okay.
He didn't just wish, he decided.
Okay.
Barnes burned his bridges, took a leap of faith, and that bold action fueled by his burning desire ultimately led him straight to Edison.
He knew what he wanted and he went for it.
Exactly. He was laser focused.
This story teaches us a valuable lesson.
What's that?
Be crystal clear about what you want.
Yeah?
And don't be afraid to communicate it boldly.
Yes.
After all, Barnes didn't just want to work for Edison. He boldly declared he was there to be his business partner.
Wow.
And imagine the guts it took to say that face-to-face with Thomas Edison.
Right.
It's no wonder Edison saw that spark in him.
It wasn't Barnes's background or even his qualifications that caught Edison's attention. It was the sheer intensity of his desire, his unwavering belief in himself and his vision.
Hill seems to be saying that sometimes passion and unwavering belief can be more valuable than any qualification or experience.
That's interesting.
It reminds me of that quote, "The world doesn't need more people who are right. It needs more people who are committed."
Wow, I like that.
And speaking of commitment, Hill doesn't shy away from the bumps in the road.
Oh, no.
He actually calls failure a trickster trying to trip you up right before a breakthrough.
Exactly.
What an interesting way to look at it.
He'll share stories of countless individuals who faced setbacks, even what looked like failure,
Okay.
before achieving great things.
So it's not always
That's
a
everything.
straight shot to the top.
Not at all.
It's not like you just decide you want to be successful
Yeah.
and then boom.
And it happens,
Overnight?
but not at all.
Okay.
It's a winding road.
It's a process.
It is.
Okay, so we're not going to be afraid of failure.
Right.
We're going to use it as a stepping stone,
Exactly.
not a roadblock.
It's a stepping stone, not a roadblock. I love that.
Okay.
It's a powerful reminder that most people give up when faced with defeat, but those who achieve greatness use it as fuel to keep going.
They don't even look at it as defeat.
No.
They look at it as just a course correction.
Exactly, a learning experience.
Think of it this way. Setbacks are inevitable, but it's how we respond to them that truly matters.
Our response is everything.
Okay, so it's not about avoiding failure,
Right.
but using it to learn, adapt, and come back stronger.
Absolutely, 100%.
He even tells the story of his friend Darby, who literally walked away from a potential gold mine just moments before striking it rich, all because he lost faith.
Oh, no.
Can you imagine?
Wow, talk about a tough lesson.
Right?
Darby's story is a powerful illustration of the dangers of giving up too soon. Sometimes persistence is the only difference between success and failure.
Wow.
It makes you wonder, how often have we been just a step away from a breakthrough only to give up at the last minute?
Great, and sometimes we'll never even know.
Exactly.
Right?
We'll never know how close we were.
Hill really drives this point home with a story about Darby witnessing a young girl's incredible persistence.
Oh, tell me more.
So picture this.
Okay.
A little girl fearlessly confronts a grown man,
Okay.
demanding the 50 cents he owes her mother.
Okay.
This man, Darby's uncle,
Right?
tries to brush her off,
Yeah.
but she stands her ground, her persistence unwavering.
She knew what she was owed.
She knew what was up.
Yes.
Eventually, he gives in.
Wow.
This simple act of unwavering determination, witnessed firsthand by Darby, taught him an invaluable lesson. If this small child could stand up to a grown man and get what she was owed, he could certainly persevere in his own pursuits,
Right.
especially after the sting of regret he felt from abandoning that gold mine.
Talk about a powerful life lesson from an unexpected source.
Right.
It seems like Hill is saying that sometimes the universe sends us these almost comical situations to teach us something profound.
Yeah.
It's about keeping our eyes open for those everyday lessons, those moments of insight that can change our perspective.
Be open to those lessons wherever they come from,
Exactly.
because you never know where your next breakthrough is going to come from.
And sometimes those lessons require us to tap into something beyond logic.
Okay.
Hill delves into some pretty deep concepts.
Hmm.
The power of faith, creative visualization, even a sixth sense.
So we're moving beyond just the physical realm.
Hill argued that achieving true success, the kind that goes beyond material wealth, requires more than just skills and knowledge.
Okay.
It's about aligning with what he calls infinite intelligence, his term for a higher power, a universal consciousness we can tap into for guidance and inspiration.
So it's less about a rigid set of steps,
Right.
and more about tapping into intuition.
Yes.
Those hunches and bursts of inspiration that defy logical explanation.
Exactly. Hill challenges us to connect with our intuition, to trust those gut feelings that often guide us towards the right path.
Those gut feelings are usually right.
He even shared the story of his son,
Okay.
born deaf,
Okay.
who eventually gained the ability to hear.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I have to admit that one sounds hard to believe.
It does sound incredible.
Yeah.
Hill believed that through unwavering faith, persistent action, and the power of belief, he was able to help his son overcome what seemed like an insurmountable obstacle.
Wow.
It speaks to the power of the subconscious mind and the belief we hold not only in ourselves, but also in others.
So almost like
Yes.
by instilling a burning desire within his son and consistently reinforcing that belief, they achieve something remarkable.
They shifted the reality.
But how do we even begin to access that power?
Hill provides a self-confidence formula, a set of affirmations to repeat daily to strengthen your belief in yourself.
What kind of affirmations?
He called it autosuggestion. The idea that by consistently feeding your subconscious mind positive affirmations, you can essentially reprogram your thinking, planting those seeds of success.
Okay.
So instead of saying, oh, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough,
Right.
you start saying, I am capable, I am worthy, I am deserving,
That's fascinating.
and you start to believe it.
So it's about harnessing the power of positive self-talk.
Exactly.
Now that we've covered the importance of desire and belief, let's explore how Hill believed we turn that desire into reality.
Okay, how do we do that?
He was a big believer in the power of connecting with others, what he called the mastermind principle.
Right.
So surrounding yourself with other people.
He believed that surrounding yourself with a group of like-minded individuals who support and challenge each other is crucial.
Okay, so we want people
Yes.
who are going to support us,
Yes.
but not just yes people.
Exactly. Not just yes people, but people who will challenge you to grow, to think differently, to step outside of your comfort zone.
Who can see our blind spots?
Exactly, because sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees.
Right.
And having those trusted advisors around us
Yeah.
who can offer a different perspective.
Right. Who can say, hey,
Have you thought about it this way?
yeah, maybe you're looking at this the wrong way.
Exactly, and that's invaluable.
So it's about harnessing the collective energy and intelligence of the group, inspiring each other to achieve incredible things.
It's like that saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
I like that.
When brilliant minds come together, their energy amplifies, benefiting everyone involved.
He uses Charles M. Schwab, the man who convinced J.P. Morgan to create U.S. Steel, as a prime example of this.
Wow.
Talk about a power move.
Right.
Convincing J.P. Morgan
To create U.S. Steel.
to get on board with
Yeah.
your vision.
Schwab didn't just stumble into that opportunity.
So how did he do it?
He meticulously planned his approach,
Okay.
gathering data and presenting his vision for a steel empire with unwavering confidence,
Wow.
ultimately persuading Morgan and other investors to turn his idea into a multi-million-dollar reality.
It sounds like organized planning was a key ingredient in Schwab's success.
Absolutely.
So this wasn't just like a whim.
Oh,
He
well.
had really
He had a plan.
thought this through.
He did.
Okay.
He understood the importance of combining a clear, compelling vision with a well-structured plan.
Okay.
Schwab knew the value of each company he wanted to acquire and presented his case with such conviction that even the most skeptical investors were won over.
Wow.
It's about thinking things through, anticipating those challenges, and presenting your ideas with confidence and clarity.
So it wasn't just about having a great idea,
Right.
but about communicating it effectively and backing it up with a solid plan.
100%.
But Hill also stresses the importance of going beyond logic,
Okay.
of infusing our desires with emotion.
Yes.
So not
Not just logically thinking it through, but feeling it in your soul.
Okay.
Believing it with every fiber of your being.
So we're not just talking about
It's not just a head game.
vision boards here.
It's a heart game.
Right,
Yep.
exactly.
We're talking about really feeling it.
Yes, feeling the excitement, feeling the gratitude, feeling the joy of what it would be like to already have that desire fulfilled.
Okay.
Simply repeating affirmations without genuine belief won't get you very far.
Okay, so we have to back it up.
Yes.
With real emotion. You need to pour your heart into it. Infuse your desires with true conviction for them to take root in your subconscious mind.
It's like the difference between simply reading a recipe
Yeah.
and actually savoring the flavors of a delicious meal.
Yes.
You need that emotional connection for it to truly resonate.
I know what to say.
But Hill also cautions against getting discouraged if it doesn't happen overnight, right?
Absolutely.
So this isn't like some magic spell. We're not just going
It's
to...
not instant manifestation.
Yeah, we're not just going to think it and it's going to happen.
No, he compares it to paying a price for a valuable reward.
Okay.
Achieving the ability to influence your subconscious mind takes consistent effort, unwavering commitment.
Okay.
It's a long-term investment in your potential, not a quick fix.
So no cutting corners.
No shortcut.
One technique Hill suggests is visualizing yourself already in possession of what you desire.
Okay.
Almost like you're sending that picture directly to your subconscious.
It's a powerful visualization technique.
Yeah.
By creating a vivid mental image of yourself already possessing the wealth, the success, whatever it is you desire, you align your thoughts and emotions with that desired outcome.
Okay.
It's like creating a mental blueprint that guides your actions and attracts opportunities.
It's like setting the GPS of your mind towards your goals.
Exactly. You're setting the destination.
Right.
And then you're starting to walk towards it.
But what happens when those inevitable doubts creep in?
Doubts are going to come up.
Right.
They're natural.
So how do we
Part of the process.
deal with those?
Hill cautions against waiting for a perfect plan to materialize. Instead, he encourages acting immediately on any inspiration or hunch that arises.
Don't wait for the perfect moment?
No, because the perfect moment may never come.
Okay.
He saw these intuitive nudges as messages from infinite intelligence, urging us to act decisively.
So don't overthink it. Trust your gut and go for it.
Trust your gut, that's your intuition speaking to you.
But how do we bridge the gap between those intuitive insights and actually turning them into something real?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
That's what we're all here for, right?
Exactly. Hill believed that knowledge without direction is like a ship without a rudder.
Okay.
It's not enough to simply amass information. You need to organize it and direct it toward a definite goal.
So just reading a bunch of books
Right.
isn't going to get me there.
Just accumulating knowledge for the sake of it isn't enough.
Yeah.
It's about taking what you know and turning it into tangible results, into real-world action.
So it's less about being a walking encyclopedia
Right.
and more about being a strategic architect,
Yes,
using your knowledge to build the life you envision.
precisely. And he points out that specialized knowledge is more accessible and affordable than ever before.
Yeah, we have the internet.
Exactly. We have libraries, online courses, you name it.
Right.
The real key is knowing how to apply it.
So we have to be able to use it.
Exactly. Identify the specific knowledge you need to reach your goals, then go out and find it.
Don't just learn random stuff.
Right. Be strategic about it.
Okay.
He even argued that employers often favor individuals who pursue continuous learning, seeing it as a sign of ambition and leadership.
It's about being a lifelong student, always seeking to expand your knowledge base and finding innovative ways to use it.
Exactly. It shows you're adaptable. You're curious. You're not afraid to step outside of your comfort zone.
In a way, Hill was ahead of his time,
Oh, absolutely.
emphasizing adaptability and continuous learning in a rapidly changing world.
He was a visionary in many ways.
He even saw the potential in emerging fields like radio, encouraging readers to think beyond traditional paths to success.
He did. He saw radio as this vast, untapped frontier with immense potential for those who dared to explore its possibilities.
Back then, it was brand new.
Exactly. It was cutting-edge technology.
Wow.
And Hill recognized that it had the power to connect people, to share ideas, to create new opportunities.
Yeah.
He even predicted the rise of advertising experts, specializing in the art of communicating through sound, recognizing that this new medium required a fresh approach.
He was basically saying, keep your eyes open for those emerging trends, be adaptable, be innovative, and don't be afraid to carve your own path.
Exactly. Because those who are willing to embrace change, to learn new skills, to adapt to the evolving landscape, those are the ones who will thrive.
It's a message that's more relevant than ever in today's ever-evolving landscape.
Absolutely. The world is changing at an unprecedented pace,
Yeah.
and the ability to adapt is more crucial than ever.
But even with the right knowledge and a forward-thinking approach, Hill acknowledges that setbacks are inevitable.
He emphasized that the path to success is rarely a straight line.
Of course not.
There are going to be bumps along the way, there are going to be detours, there are going to be moments where you feel like giving up.
Right.
But those are just temporary setbacks. They're not a sign to give up, but rather a signal to reevaluate and adapt your plans.
So we're going to view those setbacks as valuable feedback, not as personal failures.
Exactly. It's all about perspective, how you choose to view those challenges.
It's about pivoting, adjusting our sails, and staying the course.
Don't lose sight of your destination.
He even compared it to the story of Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah, tell me more.
Imagine a young man buys a secret formula from an old doctor for a mere $500.
Okay.
That formula, as we all know, became Coca-Cola.
Wow.
The real value wasn't in the physical ingredients themselves, but in the idea.
Right.
And the young man's ability to recognize its potential and turn it into a global brand.
It's about having the vision to see the possibilities where others might see nothing special.
It reminds us that sometimes the simplest ideas, when combined with the right vision and execution, can lead to extraordinary success.
It's not always about reinventing the wheel. Sometimes it's about taking something that already exists and seeing it through a new lens.
Finding a way to improve it or to bring it to a wider audience.
Exactly. And that's what the young man who bought the Coca-Cola formula did. He saw the potential in a simple syrup and turned it into one of the most recognizable brands in the world.
And then there's the inspiring story of Dr. Gonzalez, a preacher with a grand vision.
Okay, tell me about it.
Dr. Gonzalez wanted to establish a new kind of college, a place where students learned by doing. But there was one small problem. He needed $1 million to make it happen.
$1 million, that's no small feat.
Right.
Especially back then.
So how did he raise the money?
Rather than getting bogged down by the lack of resources, Dr. Gonzalez decided to focus on the power of his vision.
Okay.
He delivered a powerful sermon about his dream for this innovative college, and a wealthy man named Philip Armour, who was deeply moved by his words, offered to provide the entire $1 million.
Talk about the power of a compelling vision.
Right. It's amazing what can happen when we focus on the positive, when we share our dreams with passion and conviction.
Dr. Gonzalez didn't dwell on the obstacles.
No, he didn't let the lack of funding hold him back.
Okay.
Instead, he focused on the positive impact this college would have on the value it would create.
Okay.
And that resonated deeply with Philip Armour.
It's like that saying,
Yeah,
where there's a will, there's a way.
exactly. And Dr. Gonzalez had an abundance of will. He believed so strongly in his vision that he inspired others to believe in it too.
It's a powerful reminder that when we focus on the good we can bring into the world, when we share our vision with passion and conviction, we can attract the support and resources needed to make it a reality.
It's about aligning our actions with our beliefs and trusting that the universe will conspire to help us achieve our goals.
Both of those stories, Coca-Cola and Dr. Gonzalez's college, highlight the importance of recognizing a good idea and having the courage to act on it.
It's not enough to simply have good ideas.
Right.
We have to be willing to take action to put ourselves out there to make things happen.
But before we even get to that point of taking action, Hill stresses the need to address those internal roadblocks.
Okay, those internal obstacles that can hold us back.
Particularly those pesky fears that hold us back.
Fear can be a powerful motivator, but it can also be incredibly paralyzing.
He believed that fear is often the biggest obstacle to success. And he identified 6 basic fears that tend to paralyze people.
Okay, what are those 6 fears?
Poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death.
It sounds like he's mapped out those universal anxieties we all grapple with at some point in our lives.
Right.
Those deep-seated fears that can keep us stuck in a rut.
He argued that these fears are often rooted in negative thoughts and beliefs,
Okay,
and that dwelling on them can inadvertently attract the very things we fear.
so it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's like our fears have a way of becoming self-fulfilling prophecies if we're not careful.
Exactly. The more we focus on what we don't want, the more likely we are to manifest it in our lives.
Take the fear of poverty, for instance.
Okay, a fear that can be incredibly crippling.
Hill believed that the fear of poverty is particularly debilitating because it can paralyze action and create a vicious cycle of lack.
It can keep people trapped in a scarcity mindset where they're constantly worried about not having enough.
It can chip away at reason, imagination, and self-reliance, ultimately leading to failure.
He even pointed to the Great Depression as a real-world example of how mass fear of poverty can manifest into widespread economic hardship.
It's like that collective anxiety can create a ripple effect impacting everything from individual choices to the overall economy.
It's a reminder that our thoughts and beliefs not only impact our own lives, but also have the power to influence the world around us.
Hill argued that poverty is at its core a state of mind.
Okay.
He believed that true riches encompass not just financial abundance, but spiritual, mental, and material well-being.
So it's not just about the money.
Right.
It's about having a sense of abundance in all areas of your life.
So it's about cultivating a sense of abundance in all areas of life, not just focusing on the numbers in your bank account.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about feeling grateful for what you have while still striving for more.
He encouraged readers to shift their focus from fear to desire,
Okay.
believing that by concentrating on what we want, on the positive outcomes we hope to achieve, we can attract those desires into our reality.
It's about focusing on the possibilities, not the limitations.
So it's about focusing on the possibilities, not the limitations, and trusting that the universe will meet us halfway.
And taking inspired action towards those possibilities.
But fear doesn't just affect our relationship with money.
Right.
Hill also delved into the fear of criticism, suggesting that it can prevent us from living authentically and pursuing our dreams.
It's so easy to get caught up in what other people think of us,
Right.
to let their opinions dictate our choices and hold us back from pursuing our passions.
He pointed out that many people make choices based on what they think others will approve of,
Yeah.
sacrificing their own happiness and fulfillment to avoid judgment or disapproval.
It's like they're living their lives for other people instead of for themselves.
It's like we're living someone else's life instead of our own, constantly seeking validation from the outside world.
And it's a recipe for unhappiness?
He gave examples of people who remained trapped in unhappy marriages or avoided taking risks in their careers,
Wow.
all because they were terrified of what others might say or think.
It's a sad truth that the fear of criticism can be so paralyzing that it prevents us from living up to our full potential.
So how do we break free from that fear?
Hill believed that the only way to overcome the fear of criticism is to develop an unshakable sense of self-worth, to value our own opinions and judgments above those of others.
So we're not just going to ignore all feedback.
No, not at all, but we're going to filter it through our own values and beliefs.
Okay.
We're going to ask ourselves, does this criticism align with who I am and what I want to achieve?
It's about trusting our own inner compass and recognizing that we don't need everyone to agree with our choices.
Exactly. It's about giving ourselves permission to be true to ourselves, even if it means disappointing others.
Easier said than done, right?
It takes conscious effort,
So how do we develop that unshakable sense of self-worth?
Hill encouraged his readers to practice self-acceptance, to embrace their uniqueness, and to focus on living in alignment with their values rather than seeking validation from the outside world.
It's about silencing those inner critics and embracing the freedom that comes with living authentically.
It's about recognizing that our worthiness is not dependent on external validation. It comes from within.
But what about the fear of ill health?
Okay.
It seems like that one can really take a toll on our well-being.
Hill argued that the fear of ill health can be so powerful that it can manifest into real physical symptoms even when there's no underlying medical condition.
Wait, really?
He called it hypochondria, this preoccupation with the fear of illness.
So it's almost like,
Imagine individuals experiencing real physical discomfort and pain, all because their minds are consumed by the fear of getting sick, even when medical tests reveal nothing wrong.
wow, so it's all in their head.
It's a reminder that our minds and bodies are deeply interconnected. Our thoughts and beliefs have a very real impact on our physical well-being.
So our thoughts can actually make us sick.
In a sense, yes. If we're constantly bombarding our minds with negative thoughts and fears about our health, it can manifest in physical symptoms.
And while taking care of our physical health is important, Hill emphasized the importance of focusing on wellness rather than illness.
Exactly. It's about adopting a proactive approach to health rather than a reactive one.
He believed that by concentrating on building a strong and healthy body, by nourishing ourselves with healthy foods and engaging in regular physical activity, we could essentially crowd out those fears of illness.
It's about focusing on what we can control rather than dwelling on what we can't.
It's like taking a proactive approach to health, focusing on what we can control rather than dwelling on what we fear.
Exactly. And while Hill recognized the importance of traditional medicine, he also believed in the power of the mind to heal the body.
But Hill also cautioned against using imagined illness as a way to avoid responsibility or seek attention. Right.
Yes, he was wary of this tendency towards self-coddling, as he called it,
Right.
where individuals might unconsciously use imagined illness as a way to avoid challenges or elicit sympathy from others.
It's a reminder that our fears, even those related to health, can sometimes be a way of avoiding something deeper, something we might not want to confront.
It's about being honest with ourselves about our motivations and recognizing when fear might be driving our actions.
So instead of letting fear hold us back,
Yes.
we need to face it head on.
He believed that facing our fears head-on, rather than trying to avoid them or mask them with imagined illness, was the key to living a more authentic and empowered life.
It's about confronting those fears and saying, you know what? I'm not going to let you control me anymore.
Exactly. It's about reclaiming your power and choosing to live a life that is aligned with your values and goals.
So we've talked about the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, and even the fear of ill health.
Right.
What about the fear of loss of love?
Oh, yeah, that one's a big one.
It seems like that one can be particularly tough to overcome,
Absolutely.
especially if we've experienced heartbreak or loss in the past.
Hill believed this fear often stems from past experiences of rejection or abandonment, creating a deep-seated fear of losing love and connection.
It's like those early experiences can leave a lasting imprint, making us wary of opening ourselves up to love again.
Exactly. We build up these walls around our hearts to protect ourselves from getting hurt.
But those walls can also prevent us from experiencing true intimacy and connection.
It's a delicate balance between protecting ourselves from potential heartache and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and open to love.
So how do we overcome that fear and build healthy, loving relationships?
Hill believed it starts with developing a strong sense of self-love.
Okay, so before we can truly love another,
We have to love ourselves first.
when we truly love and value ourselves, we become less dependent on the love and approval of others.
Exactly. Our happiness and fulfillment shouldn't be contingent on someone else's love.
It's about recognizing our own worthiness of love and affection, right?
Yeah.
Cultivating that inner sense of self-acceptance and compassion.
It's about knowing that we are worthy of love and belonging simply because we exist.
When we love ourselves unconditionally, we're less likely to settle for relationships that diminish us or leave us feeling depleted.
Right. We start to attract people who treat us with respect and who value us for who we are.
And we're better equipped to handle rejection because our sense of self-worth isn't solely dependent on external validation.
Exactly. We understand that rejection is a part of life and it doesn't define us.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's about building that inner foundation of self-love so that we can approach relationships from a place of wholeness, not lack.
But love isn't the only fear associated with relationships.
Right.
Hill also talked about the fear of old age.
He recognized that many people associate aging with a decline, both physically and mentally.
Okay.
They worry about losing their independence, their vitality, their place in the world.
It's like that fear of becoming irrelevant or invisible.
And Hill challenged this negative perception of aging, arguing that our most fulfilling years can be those between 40 and 60.
That's an interesting perspective.
He believed that by the time we reach midlife, we've accumulated a wealth of wisdom, experience, and knowledge that we can leverage to make a real difference in the world.
So it's not about fearing those later years.
But about embracing the unique strengths and perspectives that come with age and experience.
He encouraged readers to approach aging as a process of continued growth and learning, not as an inevitable decline.
Exactly. Our age is just a number,
Okay.
and it's up to us to decide how we want to embrace it.
He stressed the importance of staying active, both physically and mentally, to maintain vitality and prevent those fears from becoming self-fulfilling prophecies.
Right. If we believe that aging is synonymous with decline, then we're more likely to experience it that way.
It's about challenging those limiting beliefs about aging and creating a more empowering vision for our later years.
And there's so much to look forward to in those later years. We can travel, pursue new passions, spend more time with loved ones.
Possibilities are endless.
Exactly. It's about embracing the freedom and wisdom that come with age.
But perhaps the most universal fear of all is the fear of death.
Death is the one thing that unites us all.
It's the great unknown that often fills people with anxiety and dread.
Hill believed that much of the fear surrounding death stems from religious dogma and a lack of understanding about what happens after we die.
Okay.
People are taught to fear a punishing afterlife, or they're just uncertain about what lies beyond this earthly existence.
So how did Hill suggest we grapple with this fear?
He encouraged his readers to confront their fear of death by really living, by embracing their passions, pursuing their purpose, and making a positive impact on the world.
So don't just exist, live.
Exactly. Make the most of every moment.
He believed that by focusing on living a meaningful and fulfilling life in the present moment, we could lessen the grip of fear and approach death with greater acceptance.
It's about shifting our focus from the fear of the unknown to the incredible gift of the present moment.
It's a powerful reminder to embrace life fully, to savor each moment, and to live in a way that leaves us feeling grateful for the time we have.
And to appreciate the preciousness of this life.
But what about those other fears? Those anxieties that creep up in our daily lives? Hill didn't just leave us with a list of fears. He offered a powerful antidote,
What's that?
the power of choice.
Okay, tell me more.
Hill believed that the key to overcoming fear is to recognize that we have the power to choose our thoughts.
We can choose fear, or we can choose faith.
We can dwell on negativity, or we can focus on positivity.
It's a powerful reminder that we are not at the mercy of our thoughts. We have the power to choose how we respond to them.
It's about recognizing those negative thought patterns and consciously choosing to shift our focus to something more empowering.
He encouraged his readers to consciously choose thoughts that empower and inspire them to focus on what they want to create rather than what they fear.
So it's not about pretending that fear doesn't exist.
No, fear is a natural human emotion.
But about choosing faith over fear, hope over despair, action over inaction.
Exactly. It's about not letting fear dictate our choices or hold us back from pursuing our dreams.
And Hill was a big proponent of taking action. He believed that action is the antidote to fear, that it's by moving forward despite our fears that we build confidence, gain momentum, and ultimately achieve our goals.
He often said, action is the master of fear.
It's about proving to ourselves that we are more capable than we think we are, that we can handle whatever challenges life throws our way.
And every time we face a fear and come out on the other side, we grow stronger and more resilient.
So we're not just reading about success in a book.
Right.
We're actually living it.
We're creating it with every choice we make.
And ultimately, that's what Hill's philosophy is all about, empowering individuals to take control of their lives, to overcome their limitations, and to achieve their dreams.
He believed that everyone has the potential for greatness.
He leaves us with a powerful analogy. Just like those who signed the Declaration of Independence declared their freedom from external control.
Right.
Each of us has the power to declare our own personal Declaration of Independence.
Breaking free from those internal limitations that prevent us from living fully and authentically.
It's a call to define what truly matters to us.
To commit to creating a life that aligns with our deepest values and aspirations.
And to step boldly into the unknown, knowing that we have the power within us to achieve extraordinary things.
Hill's message is timeless, and it's as relevant today as it was when he first wrote Think and Grow Rich.
It's a reminder that we are the creators of our own reality.
and that we have the power to achieve anything we set our minds to.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich,
Yeah.
what will your personal declaration of independence look like?